Hey fam, I happen to run across this because I know I've mentioned many times in my live streams about this place in Virginia where they had these people playing slaves and shit, and I was almost thrown out of it because I could not understand for the life of me of why any black folks wanted to play slaves. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, I ran across this shit right here. Let's take a look.
My name is Cheney McKnight. I'm a living historian, and I live and work in the spaces of black folks throughout society in order to better understand
This that same damn place I was talking about too. Look at this shit.
their lives. From the north to the south, east to west, join us in learning about the day-to-day lives of black folks throughout North American society. This is Not Your Mama's History presents These Roots. This month, we're at Stratford Plantation, exploring what the day-to-day life was like for enslaved persons who worked in the great houses of plantations in colonial Virginia. Stratford Hall was home to 4 generations of the Lee family. Like the Washingtons, the Randolphs, and the Carters, they had land, money, and lots of enslaved persons that made their lavish lifestyle possible. And today, I'll show you what it was like for enslaved ladies' maids. We don't know.
We don't know. That's exactly right. That's exactly what I wanted to say. We don't know. We don't know none of that shit. We don't really know. Do you really know? Because I have never met a slave or a slave child of a slave. None. And I was born in South Carolina where all the slaves should have been. We don't know. And then they turned around and added 1 more year of slavery. So we don't know shit. Is it 400 years of slavery or 401? And I'm 51 and they only added 1 year in all of my 50 years. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell this lady doing.
Specifically, which of the enslaved women would have attended to the lady of the great house at Stratford Hall Plantation? But Fick, who is listed in Philip Ledwell Lee's 1776 probate, could have possibly been Elizabeth Steptoe Lee's enslaved lady's maid.
Okay.
A lady's maid's job was not as laborious as other enslaved persons.
And they don't have no real pictures of this thing here? Or are we going to be seeing paintings? Okay.
But it was just as exhausting physically and mentally. Her skills were many. She was in charge of dressing her mistress, changing her mistress' clothes throughout the day. She trained in the care of clothing, hairdressing, makeup creation, and application. She was her mistress' stylist and was expected to keep up with latest fashions, and even sometimes acted as a dressmaker and milliner. And while literacy was not required, it was desirable in order to keep up with the latest fashion trends. A well-known lady's maid.
Okay, so now literacy was required. Because I don't know, all the slave books I was ever introduced to always said that they couldn't read nothing. And if the master caught them reading, is it literacy meaning reading? That if they was caught reading, then that was bad, right? But I guess not these ones because they had to do hair.
Was Ona Judge, who was lady's maid to Martha Washington. Ona would later escape, citing a desire to simply be a free person. According to enslavers, skilled ladies' maids were hard to come by.
Yeah, and I ran through the comment section of this before I actually started this video. And someone in the comment section said that they was really pleased that this person used enslaver. I don't give a fuck what kind of terms they use for this fuckery. It's all dumb, And I don't know why, the black ones want to be slaves. Why y'all want to be slaves? Okay, let's get it.
So their financial value was high. Her day started around 7:30 a.m., a bit later than other enslaved servants. Her schedule was not set and dictated by the schedule.
And they be showing these little tight buildings and shit and stuff and keep saying about slaves this and slaves that. But if I live right here in Connecticut, and if you go right on over there to this park that they got one of them same little teeny buildings just like this, and they said it was a school, you know. And in fact, all the little buildings seem to be little like that. But I guess this has got something to do with slavery.
Schedule of her enslavers. Simply put, she rose when her enslavers did. The dress and hygiene of enslaved servants in the house were strictly regulated by the enslavers. Unlike their brethren in the fields who tended to have more control over dress and hairdressing, enslaved servants' hair, clothing, and deportment were closely monitored. Hair, skin, and nails were expected to be visibly free of dirt, even though soap was not always allotted to enslaved servants. They were expected.
Okay, so now the slaves didn't get no soap. So they didn't get the slaves no soap that they wanted around them fixing their hair, and up close up under them, they would not get them no soap. Shut the hell up.
To independently find ways of keeping themselves clean to the eyes and pleasing to the nose. The clothing of the enslaved was different on every plantation. What an enslaved servant in the household wore was dependent on the enslaver's wealth, station, and style. A lady's maid could be given hand-me-downs from her enslaver.
I want to act like I'm listening to this shit, but I'm still trying to figure out how you get up every day and go be a slave. I mean, you don't have to be, but you want to remind people of what the slave was. So you get up every day and go over here and do all this shit right here to perpetuate the lie. I'm trying to get past that part. Okay.
Sent to a dressmaker to have clothes made for her, or be ordered to make them herself. We do not know what an enslaved servant at Stratford Hall Plantation would have worn, but looking at images of European ladies' maids and runway ads,
you know how hot it is in Virginia too? Look like this one already sweating.
we have an idea. Sarah, described as a Negro woman enslaved as a house servant and seamstress in Prince George County. She carried with her several changes of
and in that little hot brick room too. Yeah, it's hot, because them little bricks is hot. Wasn't no air conditioning in slavery.
Apparel, among which are remembered a red and white calico jacket and petticoat, a white holland and blue plains ditto, a red flannel petticoat.
I don't think I could have been no damn slave, because look at all this shit you got to do. Is she sewing on the damn clothes as she putting them on there or something? This is a lot of work right here. How the slaves even...
A purple cloth cloak, a black furred hat with a gold band, button, and loop, a black silk hat, several white linen.
And this remind me of the damn Handmaid's Tales too. Is this where it all started from? The Handmaid's Tales is like a derivative of the slave maid, lady maid slave, whatever the hell this one is.
Shifts and aprons, a spotted yarn rug, and Dutch blanket, a pair of English-made leather.
Yeah, them Handmaid's Tales and slaveries and shits, all that shit running together. Look at this one.
Shoes, and several pairs of thread, cotton, and worsted stockings with a small red leather trunk.
All right, guys, if you've been injured in a car accident...
Hold on. As with the new slaves, they have to get advertisements because they have to get paid.
At Stratford Hall, enslaved servants lived either in the quarters, in the Great House, or in slave quarters a ways away from the Great House. In 1759, at about the age of 16, Elizabeth Steptoe married 32-year-old Philip Ludwell Lee, becoming the mistress of Stratford Hall. This would have been an advantageous match for her family, as Philip Ludwell Lee was a well-connected member of the Virginia gentry, elected to many governmental positions over his life. Elizabeth, most likely, would have been...
Okay, I can't take no more of this, but, I just wanted to show y'all that, they have real, live, grown people that appear to be black that are currently here in 2021 still playing damn slaves. I thought y'all was upset about the oppression. Y'all didn't want to be slaves, but yet and still, y'all will let somebody pay y'all to come be a slave to show us slavery, because it's going to help us remember that we were slaves and didn't get our 40 acres and the mule, and that we got one more year added to our slavery time for Juneteenth. What the fuck is this? All right, I'm done with this. I just want to leave you with, we got some grown dumb folks here on Earth playing slaves what never existed. Okay, it existed to them because they keep playing them. All right. Ugh.